Well, again, I start the book, I've got another porch. Yay for porches and cabins. And my favorite thing on earth, or fourth favorite thing, drinking coffee on that porch. I start this book and, Ren is drinking coffee on this porch. I think that's the very beginning. I'm not sure, but it's right up there. And he was in the Lamar Valley where the wolves are, and in Yellowstone. And it was like, I was psyched, and his neighbor, Hilly, is a wolf biologist, his only neighbor in the cabin up the hill. And it's this day off. And so what's he going to do? He's going to go fishing up one of those side creeks. And, I was happy as a clam writing that at my coffee shop in Denver. And as he's fishing, somehow, it's funny, Jake, like I came up as a poet first, and I'm more interested, frankly, in the music of the language than in any plot. Like, I just love lyrical language that's evocative, that brings images, kind of goes straight to your heart. I think the sound of language in storytelling is super important. I think it's what makes it go through the skin. And so I love that. But somehow in my books, am I allowed to say shit happens? Stuff happens. It just happens. I don't know. I don't mean it to. Like, there's guns and there's violence and there's, crazy stuff. I think it's because it makes me sort of sit up and my ears swivel forward, and, it gets my attention and it's fun. And so this guy's fishing, and then he sees a little black bear running up the trail, and he sees, it's being pursued by this big golden retriever. And then after that comes a man with a gun, and he realizes these guys are trying to get little Edgar the bear. Edgar was a real bear. I used to see him when I was fishing up this certain creek in Yellowstone. I'm not going to say the name of it, but I'd see Edgar every few days. And I liked Edgar. And so it began, and a confrontation with a mean guy with a gun who's a poacher. He's a bad guy. Off we go, off and running. I was so happy. Oh, Edgar lived. He got saved by, Ren shoots at the dog in front of the dog and stops that chase. But later on in the book, there's a viral video that goes around. He sees in the bar in Cook City of somebody pepper spraying Edgar. And that actually happened when I was there. I saw that actual video. Edgar's just using the trail. Why wouldn't he use the trail? It's the easy way to go. He's just making a living, going from one place to another. He doesn't want to bother anybody. But this tourist, pepper sprayed him. And Edgar, like, gets it in his face. You can see in the video. And he looks like his feelings are hurt. I mean, you can actually see it on his face. It's like, why did you do that to me? And he goes off, Anyway, I saw him a few days later. He was fine, thank goodness. There's a great old vaudeville routine I have on a record. And one guy says, yeah, you just got to look a tiger in the eye and make him believe you're not afraid of him. And the other guy goes, I just couldn't be that deceitful. I don't know. I've never been like charged by a bear. Edgar's just a little black bear. He never met any trouble. I have I've done stories up on Hudson Bay. This was so cool. Going on foot way up in the remotest Hudson Bay, like 400 miles of coast with nothing. Can't get to it by boat. Tidal flats are too shallow. There's no roads. The animals up there have never seen humans. And we were on foot, and we encountered like 6 polar bears that came across the ice and the tundra and got within 25 feet. And the guides were so skilled. They were like bear whisperers. 2 little 5'4" guides stepped forward and said, hey, handsome, we don't want to play. Meanwhile, there's like 12 people shoulder to shoulder in red parkas. So that's kind of odd for the bear. And as soon as the bear focuses on a prey, which is always my wife, the guides clack rocks. There's no rocks up there much. And so they clack rocks, and it gets the bear's attention, because once he gets prey, focused on prey, you cannot get a polar bear off it. And we had 6 encounters, and it was truly awesome. I mean, in the best way. And the bears always went off, kind of looking over their shoulder like, why are you guys mean to me? It's like, I just wanted to eat you, kind of thing. They're coming for you for sure. But I think, nobody in that situation, I mean, they've never had another animal step forward. And I think that, it's like, oh, okay, now I got to think about this. Again, I had two old friends, but now they're in their mid-30s. They grew up together, lifelong friends since kindergarten through high school in southern Vermont. They live a mile apart on a little dirt road. They've played on the same soccer team the whole time. They're like in total sync. Nobody can beat them because as attackers, they're just like in total sync. They've had crushes on the same girlfriends. They're just in and out of each other's houses, helping get the wood in, dinners, spending the night. They are brothers. And now they one lives in Colorado, one's a professor at UVM up in Vermont, and they meet every fall and they go hunting or fishing, and that's their time together again. And here they are. They both pulled moose tags, which is tough to do, way up in north central Maine. So these two guys are up in the big timber country of north central Maine. It's all big woods forever. You could drive for hours and only see like one logging truck on a gravel road, lakes, little mountain ranges. And they're hunting, they're happy. They move camp after 5 days, and they come to, on a back road, they come to a blown bridge, and they need gas. And so they backtrack to a little village, and it's been burned to the ground. And they soon come to realize that Maine has seceded from the Union while they've been out. And they are in the middle of a crazy civil war. And that's how it begins. And again, it's two friends under extreme pressure. I don't have it's funny, like I don't have an agenda. I did a lot of, after I did adventure articles, I did a lot of environmental stories. Because as I traveled the world doing adventure, it became apparent to me that the world was having a tough time. The ecosphere was unraveling. I could see it everywhere. And I thought, you can't just, in this day and age, you can't write just adventure. You have to write about the most important story, which is climate change, habitat loss, the crisis of the ocean. So I did a lot of environmental stories, and I was an advocate. I wasn't exactly the most objective journalist. And I didn't try to be. I just told stories about people like Sea Shepherd, people like my Cadillac dealer friend in Louisiana who got rid of shell dredging and listed the black bear down there as an endangered species. And when I got to fiction, I felt like I cannot have any kind of agenda. It has to be, for art to take place, it has to be a space free of expectation, free of any kind of political agenda. I just have to let the story unfold, let the characters speak and be themselves. And that was really important to me. And so when I found out that these guys were in the middle of a civil war, I didn't even have a side that I was, psyched about winning. I mean, I just put these guys into this situation that was really catastrophic and heartbreaking. And I wanted just to let them go through it and see how their friendship fared and see if they survived. And then they end up taking care of somebody else, a little person. I don't want to ruin it, but all of a sudden now they're 3, and it was just lovely for me to explore their way out of that and their insistence on hanging on to their humanity.